All right, we should be good. Let me just double check. I want to get started as soon as we are able to. Awesome, we're all set. Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jamie Chavez, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I am delighted to spend today speaking with candidates for the upcoming election. Each candidate joining me today has a direct impact on Westminster, whether at the county or state level. So I'm really pleased to introduce Representative Lindsey Daugherty, who's running for State Senate District 19. Since we only have 10 minutes with each candidate today, we'll dive right in and give her as much opportunity to tell us about herself. So Representative Daugherty, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the viewers why you are running for State Senate.
Great. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm Lindsey Daugherty. I am the current state representative for House District 24, and I have been doing this role for 4 years. And recently, I have started my run for Senate District 19. And ballots drop today, everyone. So that's very exciting. You should get those in the mail at some point. So I grew up in Loveland. I'm really proud to have grown up here. I remember when you could get to the mountains on a Friday without traffic and ski and come back on a Sunday, the good old days, right? But I ended up going out of state for undergrad to play soccer and then back to Denver for law school, where I graduated in 2012. I was fortunate to have work experiences in the House, the Senate, and the White House. I think which really shaped why I wanted to run. I worked for some really good folks at in those roles who were there for the right reasons and were able to reach across the aisle and get things done, which is how I've always approached this job as well. After those experiences, I did open my own law firm. So I have owned my own law firm for the past 10 years, mostly specializing in juvenile and youth law, which also affects a lot of the policy that I do at the Capitol. I'm really proud of the support we've given our youth, specifically our foster youth. Sometimes, finding the right services and connecting them to those services means everything. And I've truly seen our youth who haven't been dealt a good hand in life make something of themselves. And that has been absolutely incredible to see at the Capitol. I have a baby boy, Theodore. He is now 16 months and launching himself off of all of the furniture. And then my husband is an emergency room doctor who works at Anschutz. And so I see firsthand some of the issues with our healthcare and what we could do to improve. A lot of the bills that I run at the Capitol have to do, like I already said, with our youth and healthcare transparency. I was the chair of the healthcare, the Health and Insurance Committee for the last 2 years. And we actually saw as many bills as Judiciary, who traditionally have the most bills at the Capitol. So we were a really busy committee. But I was really proud of the work that we did. And we never went past, I don't think, 8 o'clock because I run efficient committee meetings. We're still able to hear everyone that would come and testify doing that. I'm really excited to be running for the state Senate because I think that I have experience that I can build upon. The last 4 years has taught me a lot. I want to continue my bipartisan work and trying to work with everyone. I've done a lot of door knocking this campaign in the past year. And I think the one thing that resonates with people and that I hear from people a lot is that at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we have 99% more in common than different. And we need to start bringing that as elected officials back to the Capitol and in our work. And that's something that I live by and have lived by for the last 4 years. And that's something that I will continue to do because I think it is so incredibly important to be able to disagree respectfully, have those conversations, find what you have in common, and focus on that and not the differences. So I want to continue running policy that's good for Colorado, that has been well stakeholded, where I include everyone who wants to be included. And I'm just really excited to be here and happy to answer any questions if you have them. And I will say that I'm really lucky, before I end my spiel, I'm really lucky to be in Arvada, Westminster with my district, because I think the chambers are run amazingly. You and Cammie do a fantastic job supporting businesses. I saw it through the pandemic, and you have continued to attract businesses and retain them, which is exactly what we should be focusing on here in Colorado. I actually went to it's called the Denver Site Selection Conference the last 2 days with Metro Denver EDC. And so I heard a bunch of plugs from the cities, and it was fascinating learning what the site selectors were looking for when they're selecting places for businesses. And it gave me a really good, incredible perspective into what Denver and surrounding communities are doing for businesses. And I was so incredibly impressed the past 2 days. So I just want to throw that out there too. So,
well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Cammie's great. I look up to her a lot. She's wonderful. So, okay, well, I'll ask a couple questions as we have time. What do you believe is the most pressing issue facing our community, and how do you plan to address it?
Yep. I think that housing is something I hear across the board. Like I said, you heard I grew up here. I remember when housing was affordable, which seems so long ago. And I think that the problem that we're seeing is that we haven't actually built enough housing for everyone who's been moving here, for everyone coming up with small families. I know in Arvada we have a unique, well, it's not unique actually, it's just the issue that Arvada has is there's a lot of aging population in their homes who might like to downsize to a smaller home, but there's no place for them to go. And I know we're slowly working on that, but I think, encouraging building, and if we have promoting mixed use developments, as long as we get folks on both sides involved to kind of tackle this problem, is something that we're always looking at solutions for at the Capitol. And if you have any solutions, I would love to hear them as well. But I know housing is, in the cost of living generally in Colorado, has been tough for a lot of folks that I've knocked on doors recently.
Definitely. Thank you. And how do you plan to engage with local businesses and the chambers of commerce to foster economic growth?
Yeah, I think, my last district had a lot of when I was the rep for House District 29 before redistricting, my House district had a lot more of Westminster in it, which I lost in redistricting. But my first 2 years, I think I worked really well with both chambers, showing up at events, making sure that I am someone who is there to be receptive to any issues that are happening and really listen, especially as bills are being passed through the Capitol. What I would love to do, and make sure that there's an open line of communication when legislation is being pushed through so quickly. I mean, at the end, how fast things can go, and it's overwhelming for everyone, including us. And the only way that I can do a good job and represent the business community and my constituents is that if I hear of things that are issues or whether they support them, because otherwise a lot of times I won't know. So I think just making sure I have those relationships, that you all call me, you have my cell phone. I appreciate when you contact me, because like I said, it's the nature of our job. Things just get pushed through really fast. We hear a lot of bills, and the more I hear from you all, the better I can help you at the state capitol.
Awesome. Thank you. And what specific legislation do you plan to introduce or support that would benefit this district?
Yeah, so I've supported in the past quite a few pieces of legislation that have to do with the one that I really was proud of was we ran a grant program so that small businesses who had issues with like websites or marketing or what's SEO, those types of things, because a lot of times for me, when I started a business as a lawyer. I didn't have a background in business. And so those are the things that were the toughest for me to figure out, was how to run a business. And so we passed legislation where we created a grant program so that businesses could get, after applying for the grant, could get those services and help understand how to actually run a business as well.
Great, thank you. Let's see, I think I've got one more question here for you. How will you work across party lines to achieve meaningful change at the state legislature?
I think you heard me talk about that at the beginning. It is so incredibly important for us to come to a place in politics where we disagree respectfully. I can't tell you how much I try to bring that attitude to the Capitol, because I think we all suffer when we're fighting. Like I said, we have more in common as humans than different, and we need to find that commonality. In the Senate, I will do what I did in the House, which is I will walk in there on day one and meet everyone, and that it doesn't matter, establish those relationships, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle they're on. So that is incredibly important for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I know that went really quickly, but thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of your time so that the voters can learn more about you. Really appreciate it. And we will be doing this all day. So hopefully people join us for more. And thank you again.
Great. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.